Hello and welcome to another Player 2 Plays. I'm Chris Button, otherwise known as Bibby Boy, one of the writers for player2.net.au, and today we're checking out Atomicrops, published by Raw Fury. It's an early access game that's currently available on the Epic Game Store, and it's billed as a bit of a mix between Stardew Valley and Nuclear Throne. So a little bit of farming mixed in with some post-apocalyptic twin-stick shooting, which is quite the interesting combo. So I've played a little bit of it so far, but pretty keen to see where it goes and how it's going at the moment during its early access period. And it's been receiving a few updates during that period. So let's dive in and see how we go. So I've already started a little bit here. So what I'll do, just to show how the game sort of operates, I'll jump into the tutorial and do that again, just so we can, show off an overview of the core mechanics of the game and how it operates. So sort of like Stardew or Harvest Moon or any of the farming games, we've got to make sure that we do some farming. So of course we've got to do the usual tilling of the soil, planting of the seeds, and maintaining of the crops as well, so we can make a little bit of a profit. Alright. Once we've tilled the soil, able to plant the seeds there. And then watering the plants is as easy as filling up from the bucket of water there, the well, and in the bottom left we've got sort of, that's our water capacity. Good thing is with watering, and this is important later on, is that you're able to pretty well move around freely while the watering is done automatically. But of course you've just got to watch out for when the water runs out. But yeah, that's all very handy, because otherwise, let's have a look. Yep, got the pickaxe. Yes, it's very, very handy being able to have that water automatically, which then lets you do some of the twin-stick shooting. So that's one less thing to worry about while the watering happens automatically. So of course we've got the fertilizing here. Let's grab some fertilizer. Hold the space down. Fertilize that ground. I'm not sure it's super clear what has and hasn't been fertilized, but of course it yields better crops, more money, all that jazz. Alright, let's go and find us some more seeds. Easy as that. And of course there's the day-night cycle, which is, excuse me, very important, because then monsters will come along wanting to eat your crops. Alright. There we go, harvested some crops. So with those other potato seeds that we foraged just to the left, let's go planting these. I think that's the end of the tutorial though, so that's just the basic concept. And then it sort of throws you right into the deep end. It is a bit of a roguelike game, so the emphasis is on multiple run-throughs and trying to learn and improve on each run. So I'd say that the tutorial is not super comprehensive, but it does give you the basics that you need to, I suppose, get a start at least. Let's start off by farming these potatoes that we've been given. Got some bumblebees there to help pollinate and speed up the farming process. I think I saw some shooting from up top, so there's an enemy of some sort not far away looking to cause a bit of havoc. There we are. Okay, the gun I've got at the moment doesn't have a lot of range, so I've got it. Ooh, I didn't really hit, that's not ideal. Okay, and it looks like you get a bit of fertilising by taking them out, which is handy dandy. Cool. Alright, so while it's still daylight, because as could reasonably be expected, there's a fair few more enemies here than is in the tutorial. Yeah, as is reasonably expected in a game where there's some apocalyptic elements. When the sun goes down, things get a bit messy. That's alright, let's try and just get us some crops. Ooh, give me some real bullet hell vibes there. Yeah, so far from what I've observed... Ooh, do I get one or the other? Okay, just the one. Let's go back for the moment and just plant what we've got, because it looks like we're about to hit nightfall. Let's see. What's that? Yeah. Okay, so it looks like I actually place it on tilled ground, of all things. So I plant the turret, quite literally. Interesting. I want to try and plant some stuff all in the middle of this chaos as well, so plenty to keep me occupied. Yeah, it is very, very fast paced. There's not a heap of time in between days to dilly dally and not be continually exploring or farming or doing something. Because you'll soon see what happens in between days and what actually happens to your crops. One thing I have noticed is that you don't get fertilizer killing enemies during nightfall. So the emphasis is more on defending your crops as opposed to doing a heap of farming during the nightfall sections. Let's plant you. Oh, get out of the way of that. Thank you. Protein monitor? Okay. Because then what happens after each day is some dude in a helicopter who looks pretty pleased with himself comes and picks you up, and then it's sort of the end of day summary, and this is our currency of sorts. Oh, that's nifty. Yeah, got some decent quality stuff. Got a little bit to spend. But roses are another sort of currency or something you can forage that's traded for things such as a bit of health if you took a bit of damage in a run, or you can get on cozy terms with some of the potential suitors who you can increase relationships with and I think eventually marry. And important to note that interspecies relationships as well. So we've got what are they, a grasshopper of some sort? I'm not actually quite sure. But they've got different statistics, and I think they can be recruited as companions to help fight off enemies on the farm. But yeah, they've got a pretty reasonable cost of entry, so to speak. I don't have any roses, so I can't do that. We can also purchase weapons here, which I don't think I have enough for either of those. What I find is that because it says durability is just 1 day, I'd like to think that they're pretty powerful and would let you make a fair bit of progress outside of your farming area and to get some pretty rare seeds and that sort of thing to recoup what you've spent on that. Because it does seem quite a high cost for the weapons. Then we've got a bag of seeds, but again, didn't quite make a lot of money in that particular day-night cycle, so I think I might just return back to the farm and see if I can make a little bit more money or a little bit more beans. So I'll return back here and see if I can't get some more foraging material. Pickaxe there, not too bad. So sort of, we have these little flagged areas, and when you see that crab sort of thing with the can on its back, it's almost as if they're the guardians of the flagged area, and then once you get rid of them, whatever loot or whatever character is being sort of, I don't know, held captive or didn't want that. But whoever's in that flagged area or whatever's in that flagged area is then freed up for you to actually collect or recruit, or depending on what it is. Yeah, so what have we got? Create and sow low value seeds, high value soil plots, this earthquake. Might grab this one. Might see if I can grab just a little bit more stuff quickly before I start farming again, because yeah, the day-night cycles are quite quick. Okay, I've got a little bit of stuff, so let's mosey on back to the farm. Let's see, yep, there's the bridge. Okay, some of this stuff. Excuse me. Yeah, certainly farming and tilling the land, like the actual act of doing it, does take a little bit, so you've got to make sure you allow enough time to do all that. But it does look like when you do several things in a row, as you saw then, you become energized, which I think allows you to do things a little bit quicker. Nice. Ooh, got another hit, that's not good. Because you get energized by doing things in quick succession, it does really seem like it's in your best interest to grab a whole bunch of things at once and do them in quick succession so that you're more efficient with your use of time. As I've noted, the time you are given is quite limited, so you certainly want to try and make the most of it. Ooh, bombs do damage to my plants, I'm not too sure. Probably don't want to find out. I think it's more the slimes that get close, because they start eating your plants, which is not at all desired. But yeah, it gets pretty hectic pretty quickly. Looks like I've got a rose nearly ready, which would be handy because they tend to be quite a valued resource among the villagers, or whatever the folks back at home base like to be called. Ooh. Oh, I'm nearly dead already. Oh gosh. This could be a very quick run. Okay, managed to forage that just the last minute. Yeah, I might be using that rose to, there you go, 30 beans or whatever. I think I might be using that rose to get a little bit of health. I'm running on low. Shotgun, spray and pray. Spray and pray does sound like my style. Wondering, do I grab more seeds, or I think I might go the SMG and see what it does, because I haven't actually purchased an extra weapon before. I can upgrade weapons as well. Okay, interesting. Okay, as the spray and pay spray and pray suggests, the accuracy is all over the spot. But we'll see if that lets us make a little bit more headway into some of those sort of wild areas. We'll find out. Okay. Yeah, it certainly seems like it does let me mow through enemies a fair bit quicker than the base weapon. This earthquake. Yeah. Okay. Didn't use that last time. I should. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but I'll figure it out. Some of those subsystems, like picking up what looks like a pigeon carrier of sorts, and some of those abilities, they're not explicitly explained in great detail. But again, it's a sort of thing where I think it's very much encouraged to... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I suppose I better follow the shiny. Oh, okay, that's a baddie, but it looks like if I beat that, then I might get something pretty rare. Tiny thundercloud. Oh! Okay, so does that follow me in... Oh! Okay, that's handy. Follows me like a little companion and does some damage. Ooh, I'm nearly dead again. Goodness me. Oh! Okay, so that teleports me back there. That's handy. Oh goodness, I had a bit of health. Yeah, the SMG certainly is helping. I've just got to stay alive for a bit. I'm a little bit in struggle town at the moment. Okay, we're energized, so we're doing things a bit quicker. Nice. Just got to try and avoid that enemy fire. Oh, oh gosh, that does not look friendly, whatever that is. Oh, goodness. Okay, that's... No, do not want. Boss of some sort, and now we've got little slimes trying to eat my crops, which I don't want that at all. It's getting downright nasty. But I think this is sort of like a... I think, if memory serves, seasons take place over 3 days, I think. So I think at the end of that, you do have a boss encounter of sorts, which is, yeah, what we're trying to deal with at the moment with that big slime. It's not good. That is also not good. Oh goodness. I think I did the same as last time. Well, that didn't go well. I reckon we'll go back in and try again. Oh, and just to illustrate as well, there are 2 characters to choose between, Lavender and Rye. Guns last an extra day. Oh, that's handy. Starts with 2 bees of rocks. Might stick with Lavender, because... I'll just stick with Lavender. A toilet seat. Yes, let's do see if I can make it through the season this time round. Yeah, it is nice that the watering does reach so far. does let you sort of strafe around and do a bit of damage. Right, you big spud. Come on. There we go, a bit of fertilizer there. Come on, come out of your hidey hole. Right, let's see if we can grab some quick seeds before the day ends and before things get a little bit too hectic. Or even more hectic than what they normally are. Oh, that's not ideal at all. That's a very lazy hit there that put me behind the 8 ball quite early. Oh dear. But yeah, there's a fair amount in the way of enemy variety just in this sort of area here. Our crops came to fertilize a double crop. Yeah. Might grab that one. Might be handy when I get a few crops at once. There's no point defending my crops, there's nothing to defend at the moment. May as well just stick here and try and gain more seeds and fertilizer. That's okay. Nothing like farming in a barren apocalyptic wasteland. Oh gosh, yeah, gross. Yeah, I'll grab a cow, I think. Something to, I assume, automatically water my crops. What have we got? Okay, same as last time. More powerful enemy, but like I'll get some good loot out of it, provided I finish the job. Stats up. Oh, yes please. May as well just hang out here. I don't think I'll get much farming done by the time I get picked up by Helicopter Man. Yeah, I'll get there, mate. Come on. Okay. Didn't make a lot of money, but oh, my cow follows me. Look at him go. But I reckon I'm pretty set to get immediately to the farming. Let's set that going. I'm assuming that if they need watering, a cow will help. Awesome. Not actually sure what that is. Just plant my roses for the meantime. Perhaps it doesn't need tilled soil. Perhaps it just needs to be on untilled soil as opposed to just barren land. Interesting. Oh, there's a cow doing the watering. Good cow. I think in theory I could leave the cow to do some watering there. and the roses should be okay. It's not until sundown that I think the enemies will actually do damage to my crops. Just got to make sure I get back there in time before they get eaten. A few seeds there, that's nice. Ooh. Taking a few hits there. I might retreat for the meantime. Plant these remaining crops. Yeah, there we go. Alright, not long until sundown. If only I were able to put like an Uzi on the back of the cow or something, so it could just go ham on these monsters. That'd be nice. Things in half meters these days. Again, it's quite handy that you're able to do things with a decent amount of range. Like you don't have to quite sit by the adjacent tile to do everything, which is handy. Gives you a bit of flexibility, which is nice. Bombers can go ahead. No, stay away, slimes. Oops, I didn't even notice that one was still hanging around. Right. Yeah. Gee whiz. Oh, that ended quite abruptly. Not quite sure how to... I'm not entirely sure how to plant that date. That's okay. What have we got? 63 to spend. We can get a shotgun and some seeds. Oh, that's right, I've got a bunch of roses. Yeah, I've got 4. Alright, so I'll grab some health. Yes, please. Leave Weed Whacker. Weeds faster. Holding Thorn that damages. I don't know, Norman looks like a bit of a player. I think I'll go Norman. Weeds faster. Hit for my human job. Where is the bus? Okay, so the next one is yes, it's explosive moth smoke crops. Rightio. Okay. So sniper rifle, 1 shot, 1 kill. Bit of a Widowmaker reference there, I reckon. I reckon I'll go with a shotgun, because then I'll be able to afford a bag of seeds. A lot of water, but that's where I've got my cow, so... Yes, yeah, I still have my cow, yep. Pretty well an indestructible cow, which... I mean, who doesn't want an indestructible cow in their lives? Plain seeds, yep. Cool. Corn and cabbage, nice. Yeah, I certainly like the hectic nature of the game so far. But I think one of the big things, and again, this is an early access game, so it's important to note that there's more coming. And I've seen Raw Fury have been pretty forthcoming with things such as the Okay, so you have to get pretty close, but it looks like it does a decent amount of damage. Shotgun, that is. There is a bit of a roadmap of what has been on the horizon for Atomicrops. But one of the things I'd most want to see to really hook me in and really get me interested for the long haul is something to really put into context what I'm doing, or put a longer overarching arc, which there may be in place already, but it's not quite made apparent very early on. So there's not a massive draw card to get you invested very early on. That being said, the gameplay itself is quite fun, and it is very it is very stressful if you're looking for that sort of thing. But it is good fun, and there's certainly a very good foundation for an interesting gameplay loop. So yeah, I certainly am very interested to see how Atomicrops develops going forward. What crops going to fertilizer? Well, I've already got the rain one, which I haven't actually used. So let's get some more crops, shall we? More seeds. I like a little bit more. What have we got here? It's a big looking machine. Sprinkler tractor. Huh. Okay. Well, it's about to turn night, so I reckon I'll return back. How does the tractor work? It looks like it's oh, okay, that's right. Alright, let's do this. Yep. With a season encounter. Come on, get out of here. Get out. Don't want you. Yeah, I do like the weed whacker that I got from my soon-to-be fiancé, my bug boy. Oh, I'm getting a bit overwhelmed there. Get out, get out, get out. Cheap hits here. So cheap, I don't mean games being cheap, more referring to me pushing it very fine. There's one of those rabbits riding one of those things, riding that big slime. I haven't quite figured out what to do with today. There we go. Oops, tried to shoot my own cow. Thank goodness the tractor's ready. Oh, okay, so it's a cooldown based thing. Interesting. But again, it's one of those things, it's not super clearly communicated how it actually works. So, know now that it's a cooldown based thing. There's not a heap of information to really give me context as to, okay, this is what it is, this is how it works, and that sort of thing. So, oh, and I think I finally figured out how to plant the date, but all too late. But that's okay. Guns break after a day of use. You must buy a new one or make do with your pea shooter. Yes, yep, it's all right. And I just dumped the gun parts there because why not? Okay. I don't think I actually claimed any process there. Alright, and because that was an end of season thing after 3 in-game days, we'll follow the arrows here to the mare. They are radish or I'm not actually sure what they are. Yeah, cool. And you get some bonuses based on sort of how much you harvested during that period. You're mildly hungry. Well, I'll take that. That's better than starving and not living. They all look pretty happy with me. Horse, run faster for a short period. Outcome, combat weapon. Bridge and prepare materials. I think I might go to horse actually. Faster movement, very handy. Oh, there we go. And then if I were to shoot, that'll stop. Ah, handy. Gamble. Well, I've got nowhere near enough to gamble. And remove beads. Yeah, so I do like that, how you have your bees and your cow and your horse and that sort of thing. These little companions that help augment your farming experience. Prevent enemies in the fertilizer. Ooh. Only hold one track at a time, so that would place a sprinkle on the top. Okay. Not that I've got enough to trade it anyway. Lolo lalo. Pretend to know. Oh, okay, so I get to pick both of them. It's not a case of one or the other. That's nice. Oh, Norman. Sorry, I don't have enough for the SMG. I've got enough for the shotgun, which I think I'll go for that. Let's have another go. You finally plant this thing. Plant this rose. Okay. Let's go and get some seeds. Yep. Give it to this, so mosey on forth, choose scary mask, energized by killing enemies. Yeah, let's go. Okay, oh, okay, I need 2 bits of wood to be able to go further in this area. See. Yes. Now we'll scarecrow. Let's go scarecrow. I've already got a cow. Wouldn't mind a little mini map just to sort of illustrate where I've been and where I can go. That was close. I probably need to explore new areas if I want to find more seeds, because I haven't got a lot and I've already found a fair bit of stuff in this area, so I dare say I've got a... What have we got here? What's that? Not entirely sure, but that's alright. Nearly nightfall. Let's see if I can quickly wander over here and find some stuff. Get out of the way, get out of the way, come on. Hang on. Oh. I'm just gonna bolt and try and salvage my plants. Try and get the opportunity to scarecrow on. I like the shades. Sort of coming across as one of those wear sunglasses at night type operators, so a bit on the obnoxious side. That's alright. As long as the scarecrow protects my crops, I don't mind. That's an enemy. Able to harvest the bait thing there, or the tree that... Oh, so it produces bunch of things. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so as long as I keep it alive, I guess it'll produce things at a steady rate. That's nice. I can appreciate that. Nearly done. Still a bit more land while the comes. Yeah, nice. Need a bit of cashola that time. Unbroke, yeah, of course. 2 roses for health now. Jeez. Can be polygamous here. I don't have enough roses to do so. Tier 1 times of seas. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I want to head further over to the west, and I need to purchase more bridge materials. Pretty keen to make sure I have some decent weaponry as well. So, shall I go? The cost of everything is going up. All this inflation. Jeez, alright. Perhaps I'll go the old trusty shotgun again. And go some seeds. E. Yep, cool. Well, thank you very much. Oh, it's a tree with exploding pine cones. Right, that's what that is. Okay, that's something. That's a rain cloud. I haven't been using any of those pigeons. I'll get to that sooner. Fertilizer. See what, the shotgun certainly does some nice damage. More pigeon stuff. Oh, as if I need more pigeons. Need more seeds. I've got a few seeds. I think I saw a tunnel to get me back to the farm, so I might take advantage of that. Did it disappear? Oh, there it is. Yeah, cool. Sweet. I think similar to the likes of Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley and that sort of stuff. I think if you do arrange your crops in a particular pattern or order or anything like that, then you can augment them or combine them or improve them somewhat, but I haven't the expertise or finesse to have had done that already. So I apologise to the devs who may be tearing their hair out. Lamenting my lack of farming prowess. So yeah, I got a bunch of seeds there, that's nice. Yeah, alright, I get it. Get out of here. I feel like I'm starting to get a bit of a better handle on how the enemies operate, how the weapons operate, and that sort of thing, which is handy. yeah, it does seem like they're throwing more of them at me and introducing new varieties at it, so certainly keeping me on my toes. Oh, I don't like the looks of that. Is that a sniper or something? No, thank you. Oh. Gotta play it real careful. 17 more seconds. Come on. Grab it. Got him. Cool. We're trying to nibble on my tree there, mate. Oh, made it by the skin of my teeth. Yeah, and now I feel like, you know, starting to get a bit more of the loop, and earn a bit more of that currency as well, which is nice. But I reckon that's a good taste of Atomicrops. I reckon we'll leave it there for the time being. But as I was saying earlier, I really do enjoy the gameplay loop, and I think it's feels really good. You know, it does as the inspiration notes, it does capture some of those nuclear thrown into the gungeon type twin stick feels, which is quite nice. I think that the main thing that would invest me more, and I do believe that permanent upgrades do exist in this game, when you hit certain checkpoints or progression points throughout the game, like I think surviving a certain amount of seasons and that sort of thing, you'll get permanent upgrades that carry out across runs. But I think what would invest me a little bit further is just something more tangible, or something a little bit evident earlier on, to really give me a sense that, okay, what I'm doing is progressing, slowly but surely progressing to an overall end goal, or something that's a little bit more clearer in that respect. But again, Atomicrops is in early access, and they have already released several updates, and there's another one on the way, and they're also road mapping what they're on track to do, which is really encouraging, and it shows really good, clear sense of direction of where they want the game to go. And for an early access game that's still in active development, Atomicrops is looking really, really good and really encouraging. So that's Atomicrops for you. A mix of Stardew Valley, Nuclear Throne, Enter the Gungeon, all that farming and twin stick goodness. I definitely recommend keeping it on your radar, so you can suss it out on the Epic Games Store, where it's currently in early access. And I will leave it there. So thank you for joining me. I'm Chris Button, otherwise known as Bibby Boy on several corners of the internet. And this has been another episode of A Player 2 Plays. So be sure to check out player2.net.au for more video content, written reviews, news, articles, opinions, and all that sort of thing. And thank you very much for joining me. Much appreciated.